안녕하세요. My name is Hyosung, and we are NFLabs. At NFLabs, we build big data solutions, and we make them the most efficient way. Now, to explain what that means, let me share a story. Steve Jobs once said that the computer is the bicycle of the mind. He said this after reading an article that did a test about locomotive efficiency. And the test analyzed locomotive efficiency between multiple animals versus a man on a bicycle. And that man on the bicycle blew away everything. And like that bicycle is enabled man to be the most efficient animal on the planet. We enable companies to take data from source to insight in the fastest and most efficient way. Now, data is growing leaps and bounds. As you can see, it's doubling about every 18 months. And if you look at this diagram, you can see that I think we have 300 times more data than grains of sand right now. Now, data is growing so fast that it's outpacing the ability for traditional data analytics tools to analyze, which is causing a huge insight gap. Now, this insight gap is causing companies to lose a lot of money. Now, a recent study in the UK found that just in the marketing industry alone, over $4 billion was being wasted because of this gap in this insight. And we help you fill that gap. Now, let's look at why there's so much waste here. Now, if you look at the traditional way that data gets processed, you gotta do infrastructure setup, collection, processing, distribution, and then you gotta ask different organizations with different skill sets to essentially just analyze simple data. And the more data you have, the more resources and the more time that you need. Unfortunately, big data solutions, the current big data solutions right now do not solve this problem. So Peloton does. Now, instead of just talking about it, let me show you what it does. My colleague's going to help me, and I'll set up so I can really talk a little more. Now, as you can see, the first thing you notice right here is that it's an enterprise software. It has all the bells and whistles of enterprise software like dashboards, user controls. And the first thing users are going to do with this tool is to build a Hadoop deployment. Now, generally to build a Hadoop deployment, you gotta write code, you gotta open a shell, it gets very complicated. But as you can see, with Peloton, with a click of a button, not only can you build a new Hadoop deployment from scratch, you can add to the existing one. And once you build that Hadoop deployment or that set of clusters, all the logs that's being generated would then be put automatically into our monitoring tool right here, so that you can in real time manage those servers. Now, this is the boring stuff, right? This is the underbelly of enterprise cluster big data management. It's a required component, but it's not the fun part. We want to get to the fun part, which is the analyze part. Now, before I go any further, let me ask the audience right now, how many of you have heard about Hadoop? Raise your hand. All right, so we got, 5, 6, 7 people. How many of you have coded in MapReduce? Raise your hand. Wow, surprisingly, we still have 3 people here. That's 3 people in this whole audience that can do big data analysis. Now, with Peloton, what you can do right from our system is build beautiful graphs without writing a single code of MapReduce. Not a single line. And this is done in real time. Now, anytime people hear real time, right? Real time and big data, go, wait a minute, no, that's not possible. Right? So just to kind of satisfy all the doubters out there, we're going to do a resource. Now, he's going to run a traditional mechanism of doing big data analysis with traditional tools. So if you look in the background here, you don't have to worry about that. That's German or Russian for just running MapReduce code on the same set of servers that Peloton's running right now on the same set of data. So things are happening, blah, 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 we'll keep waiting. I don't know if we have enough time. So we'll just let this run in the background, and then we're going to run the same code, the same query again on Peloton. And remember, this is the same code, same data set, same server. We're not changing anything else, right? And when you run it, it comes right off the bat, right? Now, what happens? All right, show you. And I think in the background, right now, the background job is still running, the traditional way that's running. And what happens is when you, even you wait how many minutes, hopefully minutes, you still only have this data. And essentially what you would have to do is take this data, move it into a different tool, analytical tool, so you can visualize and see a report. But with Peloton, all you have to do is add the word graph at the beginning of the same query. And you now have a base export and use it your web. Now, when you stop it, I mean, that alone, I think, would be great. But what we decided to do is truly make Peloton extensible and flexible. And to enable to do that, we allow any company, any data scientist, to take their custom algorithms and plug them right in to be scalable right away. Now, it's going to run a very simple algorithm that I think a lot of companies use. This is it's called a sentiment graph, right? So Twitter data is the rage in the world right now. So a lot of companies want to know, hey, are people liking me, not liking me, liking my product, not liking me? Now to do this across terabytes of data, you got to remember back to the traditional way people did data analysis. This will take days, potentially months. But with Peloton, again, you're running this across all your data sets in seconds. This is a different way to do data. This is a very different way to do data analysis. Hold on, let me get the... other companies right now only address part of the problem. Now, they're either through Hadoop management. I don't know if you're familiar with some of these companies, but they either provide Hadoop management or they provide limited analytics. And many of these big data analytics companies only allow predetermined set of charts on a limited set of data. Not with Peloton, not anymore. Now, it's been about a year, and we designed and we built our first version of Peloton, and we already have great organizations like SK Broadband, KT, and LG leveraging Peloton across over 1 petabyte of data. And that's just the beginning. We already have mobile companies, commerce companies in our pipeline, and we have US enterprises who are very interested in using Peloton across their data sets. But again, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Gartner estimates that $34 billion will be spent by the IT industry on big data tools like Peloton. 34 billion, that's a big number. Now, data is going to continue to rise as more devices get connected, as more people get connected. It's inevitable that data is going to continue to rise. And more data gets accumulated, the greater that inside gap. And as that inside gap increases, more and more companies are going to have a hard time making decisions. Accurate business decisions that you need to do. So to summarize, Peloton's a different way to do big data analytics. We are an end-to-end big data analytics that is truly extensible and flexible. And we want to share this with the world. And to share this with the world, we created a personal edition that you can download for free right now on our website. Now, this personal edition will enable you to download it and see what's truly possible with big data analytics for free right now. And that's NFLabs. Now, a lot of people, I think when you talk about big data, you hear about people saying that we need more data scientists and that we need to train more data scientists. We believe that we need more tools to enable everyone to be a data scientist. Now we're actively looking for partners who have passion for big data analytics and want to redefine the industry like we do. And if that's you, come talk to us afterwards. Thank you. My name is Hyosung, and we are NFLabs.